Hello and welcome to highlights of Stage 7 of the Tour de France on GCN Racing. Before we get on to today's stage, let's quickly recap yesterday, because it was fantastic. Not a mountainous day, but one of relentless climbing. Dylan Teuns was the strongest of two survivors from a big breakaway group. In the group of overall contenders not far behind, yellow jersey Alaphilippe was looking ominously strong, as was Geraint Thomas, best of the group of GC favourites. But Alaphilippe's attack at the end was not enough to save his yellow jersey, which goes to Giulio Ciccone, second on the stage, but that is some consolation prize. On to today, and Stage 7 offered some respite from the climbing. It was mostly flat between Belfort and Chalon-sur-Saône, but at 230 k's, it's the longest stage of the entire race. And at 27 degrees at sunny, you can't say it's a bad day to ride a bike for 6 hours, but the wind would be in the riders' faces all day, slowing the pace and making it even longer. In fact, it's a brave rider that would want to forge a breakaway on a day like that, but two dutifully attacked from the gun. Both no stranger to breakaways in this year's Tour, Stefan Rossetto of Cofidis and Johan Alfredo of Wanty Group Goubert. The bunch, as you can see, were only too happy to let them go. But, as ever with a race like the Tour though, even on a day like today with its gentle roads and relaxed early pace, you can't switch off for a moment. A crash at the back of the peloton was a rude reminder of that fact, and worst off was TJ Van Garderen, a key domestique for the EF team, now covered in road rash, as you can see. His morale will no doubt be even worse than it was yesterday when he was dropped surprisingly prematurely on the climb to the finish. And to make matters worse, there were still 200 kilometres to go. The gap to the break up to 4 minutes and 23. The mood in the bunch was seemingly pretty relaxed. Here we got Ciccone, the yellow jersey wearer, catching up with fellow Italians Matteo Trentin and Vincenzo Nibali. In fact, they were probably so relaxed because they knew that Tony Martin of Jumbo-Visma was setting the pace on the front of the bunch, something he's done for so many years he could probably do it in his sleep. And he also had plenty of support from De Koning Quickstep and Soudal Lotto, so there seemed little doubt for the outcome of that duo out front. Now, nothing of note really happened at all until 33 k's to go and that intermediate sprint. Rossetto rolled over first in the breakaway, but in contrast, back in the bunch, Team Bahrain Merida were lighting it up for their man Sonny Colbrelli, who duly edged out the green jersey wearer Peter Sagan and Elia Viviani. Then, just as we saw on day one, this surprise lifting of the pace caught a few riders out. Wout van Aert, a key member of the Jumbo-Visma lead-out train for one, but perhaps more notably, overall contenders Nairo Quintana and Dan Martin. Today, they were forgiven for their negligence and they regained contact with the peloton after a few kilometres, but it's not a great sign for Martin that this is the second time it's happened in just a week for him. The break was finally brought back, but not before Johan Alfredo put in a symbolic attack to eke out a few more metres in front, enough to ensure that he earned the prize of the day's most combative rider. With 12 k's to go, it was all together then. The pace was high, seemingly every team trying to stay up front, be they teams with sprinters eyeing up the stage win or overall contenders looking to stay out of trouble. As a result, the pace of the bunch rocketed up to 50 k's an hour, and then with just a few k to go, Jumbo-Visma would clearly be glad that Wout van Aert regained contact as he pulled for 2 kilometres at 65 k's an hour. In his first Tour de France, this is confirmation that the three-time cyclocross world champion is freakishly talented on the road as well. Now into the final kilometre, and De Koning Quickstep took over pace-setting duties. Michael Morkov leading the bunch through that final turn and looking incredibly smooth given the power he's putting out. De Koning Quickstep were all looking very good in fact. Max Ricchesi, the final lead-out man for Viviani, ready to launch his man with just over 200 metres to go. But coming up on the right-hand side of your picture was Dylan Groenewegen, looking like he had an almighty turn of speed. Sagan too kicking hard, and Caleb Ewan storms past a floundering Viviani. From that angle it looks like a blanket finish. Groenewegen claims it, but the aerial shot here from the helicopter shows that it's just a hair's breadth that separates Ewan and Groenewegen. And I don't think it was until that photo finish that we got the confirmation that Groenewegen was looking for. His first stage win in this year's Tour de France. The third stage win for his Jumbo-Visma team. There we go then, the confirmation of the result. Confirmation that no one sprinter seems dominant this year in the Tour. In fact, we've had a different winner every day of the race so far. Groenewegen, though, has got to be happy with that after missing out on the sprint on stage one, which was taken by his teammate he'll have a monkey off his back after that. Not much action in the general classification today. Ciccone gets another day in yellow tomorrow. Alaphilippe just 6 seconds back there, and all the main GC riders waiting in the wings. Tomorrow's stage does not look like one for the sprinters. In fact, it may well be one for the break again. 200 kilometers from Mâcon to Saint-Étienne. 5 second cat climbs, as you can see, and 2 third cats. So it's going to be a tough day for all the riders. Remember that you can watch the action on Eurosport if you live in Europe, and you can, of course, as I hope you will do, catch up with the GCN Racing highlights. Remember to subscribe and also hit the bell icon so you get a notification when our highlights go live.